following conversation is with one of my good friends and mortgage broker, Rami from Mortgage Alliance. If you guys are new to the real estate industry or you're transitioning from another industry to the real estate industry, I really think you'll get a lot from today's interview. Rami shares with us the way he went from having a nice job that was not in the sales industry and completely making a switch over to being a full-time mortgage broker. I think a lot of us can relate when we're trying to make the jump from one industry to the other. So without further ado, here's my conversation with my friend Rami. You're telling me about a camera recently?
Yeah, so...
Tell me about that.
Have you watched there's a documentary on Bill Gates.
Okay.
And one of the things that he likes to do is he goes out for a walk. And he does his best thinking walking.
Okay.
So I tried going out for a walk. I go for a walk, but then I see something I like, nice tree, nice whatever. I pull out my phone, I take a picture of it. Then I get stuck on my phone for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Read an email, read a text message, reply back. And then all of a sudden, your walk is no longer sacred anymore.
Yeah.
So getting a camera, what that helped me with is I go out, I see something nice, I take a picture of it. I don't look at my phone for like an hour almost sometimes.
Yeah.
So it gives me a real opportunity to think.
Yeah.
And just really cherish what's around me.
Yeah. Have you heard about the light phone?
Yes. You told me about the light phone.
I did tell you about it. Yeah, so it's just a smartphone, but the only function it has is to call, to text. It has a very simple GPS.
Yeah.
And it also has access to iTunes library. So music, podcast, stuff like that. That's the only 4 apps on the phone. And I got to tell you, man, like I used it when I went on vacation with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
It was this summer when the lockdowns were all lifted.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
And, you know, we would go out to the restaurant. It was in Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean.
Okay.
And, like, I would bring it to the restaurant with me. And, like, if somebody really needed to get a hold of me, they would call me.
Right.
But, you know, when she was getting up to go to the bathroom, I wasn't, like, whipping out the phone and, you know, going on Instagram or, you know, catching up with friends on Facebook.
Right.
And he got me, like, zeroed in on what I was doing. So I could totally relate with the camera.
Yeah, and, you know, one thing that I did do, I love the idea of a light phone. But you can almost try to accomplish that by deleting some of these apps off of your phone.
True, but the temptation is always there to add them on. And shout out to the light phone, great idea. I don't think it's there yet.
Oh, okay.
Because...
So you would change things?
Well, I use my camera as a memory now.
Right.
Like if I park somewhere, I like to take a picture of, you know, where I'm parked in the parking lot, you know, A3, you know. Yeah. You ever looked for your car in an underground parking?
Yeah, there's your iPhone can remind you where your car is.
Yeah. So anyways, it's such a fine balance.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But like I've tried deleting because we were part of the book club together, the Not Your Typical Book Club, and we read so many good books. And one of the interesting books was Digital Minimalism. Yeah. And I think
that book still resonates with me.
Of course. Yeah. But you, Chris, and I, we deleted all our apps. And then, I don't know for you, but I eventually reinstalled Facebook.
Yeah. I reinstalled Facebook, and then I removed Facebook and Instagram off my phone.
Okay.
The only thing I have on my phone right now is Twitter.
Wow. And that's not sucking you in for...
It does. Sometimes I go on Twitter and I'm just scrolling, you know, see what's going on. You know, today we are January 7th, right? Yesterday, with all this stuff going on in the US.
Crazy.
Man, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Like, it's sad, but you're on Twitter and you're looking at it and you get a lot of these different people that were actually there taking pictures and tweeting. And that's what's cool about Twitter.
Yeah. You get different perspectives.
Yeah, and you can never have, like, you're always up to date. Like it doesn't fail. Like when you press down or when you scroll down, there's something new comes up.
It's addicting.
Whether it's sports or whatever it is, there's always something new.
For sure.
So addictive.
Yeah. It is. It's insane.
Yeah, Twitter right now is hard to delete because I get a lot of my news there. But
that's one I never got into. For some reason, it's the one app that I have on my phone. I try my best to interact with people there, and it just doesn't grab my attention. But maybe that's a good thing.
Well, I never interact with anybody there.
You just go there for information.
I go there for information.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, listen, thank you for being here today.
Thanks
I really appreciate it. On this channel, we try to give advice to new agents in the industry, or even agents that have been in the industry for a while and are just looking to understand some different things about the real estate industry. And I thought you were an appropriate first guest because you got into the mortgage industry not that long ago. Well, 5-year veteran.
Yeah.
2015.
Yeah, 14, 15, something like that, yeah.
Before that, you had another pretty good job, right? And, how was it to transition from that good job and into something that there was really no guarantee?
Well, I took my time, to be honest with you, because once I got my license, I was, I registered with a team. I learned the business. I took my time learning the business while I was still working for the government at the time. And I was back and forth whether or not I wanted to actually.
Yeah.
I even got my real estate license. So I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure which way I wanted to go. It's not until 2018 that I decided that it's time for me to just do mortgages full time. It's my passion. I love doing it.
What was scary about it? Just
scary about making the leap earlier?
Yeah.
The unknown, like you're not guaranteed a paycheck. And I've never been in a position where I wasn't guaranteed a paycheck. The more you work, the more you make. And in most businesses, it's what you do now will only flourish in 6 months.
Yes.
And that's a scary thought because it's like my first paycheck is not going to come for another 6 months. Not necessarily, but it's almost like you're always planning 6 months ahead.
Yeah.
And once I had enough for 6 months, I decided to leave because that's what I was comfortable with.
So you were looking to achieve a goal before making the commitment, all right?
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, it was a 5-year plan that I did in 3 years.
Good job.
Yeah. Because I was able to grow enough to build a 6-month buffer.
Yeah.
And I really studied a lot of. I studied a lot of mortgage agents and a lot of policies and a lot of guidelines to really understand, one, who does what, and two, how are these mortgage brokers doing it?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Like I would sit next door to them and just listen to what they're saying.
Because that's, our industry as realtors and your industry as mortgage agents, our formation, our training or licensing, they teach us about the legal stuff.
Right.
They teach us about, which forms to use and stuff like that. But they never teach us how to sell. So, who was your mentor when you started in the mortgage industry?
My mentor was his name is Darren Sador. Actually, he was at Mortgage Brokers Ottawa. At the time, he helped me a lot when I first started. But it was sitting around a lot of different agents around the office. I was really self-taught how to approach different scenarios.
Yeah.
Depending on the mortgage deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I've also read a lot of books on how to sell.
Yeah.
If you knew me 5 years ago, socially awkward, I can barely put 2 words together. Like I was just not an approachable person.
I think you're wrong. I mean, I did meet you 5 years ago and you were very approachable, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You're a different person, right?
I think so.
There's like a confidence about you.
And sales help because everybody sells. Well, whether you are in sales or not, you're selling yourself. Every conversation.
Every industry.
Yeah.
Every industry. It doesn't matter.
There's a book called To Sell is a Human by, his last name is Pink. Forgot the name. Forgot the first name. I think it's Steve Pink, maybe. And anyway.
Maybe.
Yeah. Search it up and you can put it up. But it's a great book about, for me, it was about confidence and just believing in yourself and always selling yourself.
That's the thing. With new agents, that's one of the biggest things is that they don't have confidence.
No.
And when I started in this industry, I didn't have any confidence, right? I can remember the first time I was advised by one of my mentors on how to generate leads. He gave me the great idea of going door knocking. It's something that works, but I could still remember driving to that street on Falcon Crest in Orleans, not too far from here, parking my car in front of that first house that I wanted to door knock, whipping out my Palm Pilot, in 2005 or 6, and playing Bejeweled for just 2 hours. And then I was just like, okay, I'll play one more game and then I'll get to the door. I played and played and played for a few hours, and then I drove back to the office. I didn't do any door knocking. And I was ready to quit real estate. I'm like, I'm just not cut out for this, right? So the next day, I decided I would just go. And even if I was scared, I would just go and do it. I knocked on that door. The lady answered the door, and she's like, hold on, young man, I'm going to go get my husband. I was like, oh man, I'm going to be in deep, deep trouble. They're going to cuss me out for door knocking and disturbing them. He's like, how did you know we wanted to sell? We were just talking about selling our house.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's just, that was all the proof I needed that in order to gain confidence, you need to get into action.
This was in 2015?
2005, sorry.
2005, okay.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
When I got my license in 2006.
Okay.
So, when the Palm Pilots were still a thing. But, that was a good lesson. It's like, we all want that confidence before we start going, but you need to get going before you get that confidence.
Yeah. And
that was a great lesson for me back then.
Absolutely. Something about door knocking and even cold calling.
It's scary.
So scary.
It's scary.
It is. But it helped in 2005. That was the thing to do.
Because it's no longer the thing to do, I think it's the thing to do.
Right. Yeah.
I have one of my coaching clients. She's all about cold calling and door knocking. She does it very, very deliberately. She researches the houses that she's going to call. She sees who's been in their houses for more than 5 years. There's a good chance that their mortgage is up for renewal, so she calls. She's got a few questions, are you looking to sell? Okay, well, no, that's fine. Is your mortgage maybe up for renewal? I could hook you up with a good broker. And she's got, this entire system to generate leads off of cold calling because nobody's doing it anymore. Right? Yeah. A lot of people hide behind the online lead generation. Yeah. And, that seems to be
you might get one from calling 10, 15 people, but at the end of the day, that's one that you wouldn't have gone anywhere else.
Well, anyways, we're talking about this specific agent. Her goal is to do something like 30 deals this year. And we broke down the numbers. If she gets a client every 25 contacts, then it boils down to only 21 contacts per week in order to reach her goal.
Right.
So, that's the way it works. But anyways, enough about me. I want to talk really about you and more specifically your transition from this normal job to a sales job in the mortgage industry. This channel, like I said, there's a lot of new agents looking to get into real estate, and a lot of them are transitioning from other businesses. What are like the top 3 things that they should concentrate on if they want to make that jump?
Making contacts, I think, is obviously the biggest one. Making contact with anyone that comes across your realm. Honestly, I think ultimately, put your ego aside, because you're not better than anybody, and nobody's better than you.
Yeah.
Okay. Except, if you want to be a great realtor, then talk to a great realtor. And I feel like a lot of realtors, especially when they're first starting out, they may have gotten the idea to become a realtor by watching, Selling Sunset or any of those shows. But in reality, that's not how real estate works.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to get that far up until you learn.
Yeah.
And there's so many things to learn.
True.
So I guess the first one is make good contacts, not only within your industry, but outside of your industry.
Yes.
Some of the best realtors I've worked with know a lot about mortgages.
Yeah.
They understand. So when I tell them this is not going to work because this property is in whatever, it's on well and septic, we cannot go in no financing because an appraisal is going to be required. They understand.
Yes.
They get it. So understanding the industries that you're working with.
Yes.
Whether it's whether you're sending someone to a lawyer or a mortgage broker. So 1, 2, 3, respect other professionals. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Because don't talk about mortgages with your clients. Understand mortgages. I'm just talking about mortgages because I'm a mortgage broker.
Of course.
But understand mortgages.
Yeah.
But don't talk about mortgages. Okay? Because policies change all the time.
That's true.
All the time.
Yes.
Maybe you were able to put 0 down 15 years ago. You can't do that now.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah. Don't advise your client that you can't buy a second house without putting a 20% down, because that's not true. You could. There's ways. So one thing that they could do if they're in front of a client, and that's something I love, is when the client asks a question about a mortgage, and say, you know what, hold on a second. Let me call my mortgage broker, and he'll answer this for you.
Yeah.
So that makes you look efficient, okay? And that makes you look great in front of the mortgage broker. And then when you're calling that mortgage broker, let him do the talking.
Yes.
Let him finish and sell his product, sell himself.
Of course.
Everybody's going to appreciate, even if the broker is not going to get this client.
Yeah.
He made you look good in front of this client.
Yeah,
you now have contacts, right? And you can do the same thing with an inspector, with a lawyer. If a lawyer is going to answer his phone after 5.
What you're saying resonates with me a lot, and probably a lot with the people that are listening to this channel, because I talk about building your professional network all the time. But one thing that I do get often from my coaching clients that are new in the industry, when I tell them go out there, go meet with a lawyer, go meet with an inspector, go meet with a mortgage broker, they feel shy. They feel, like they're lacking confidence because they have nothing to offer. So I'm going to put you in a scenario. A brand new agent calls you and wants to strike up a relationship with you, business relationship. What would you like for that agent to approach you, with? What would be beneficial for you in that relationship with the new realtor?
Relationships clash all the time.
Yeah.
Right? It's all about the personalities.
Yes.
So in a very busy market like this, you really want to connect with the people that are giving you something.
Yes.
Okay. So if a realtor was to approach me and call me, so one of the things that I did, I'm just going to spin this around real quick.
Sure.
Okay? So let's say I'm trying to get leads out of real estate agents. What I used to do is basically look at every single open house in the area, send them a feature sheet on this open house with the asking price, how much the cost of the down payment is.
Yeah.
I would create like 100 of them and send it to 100 agents.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I did is I created value. I gave them this thing that they can actually give to their clients.
Yes.
Some of them are already working with the mortgage, whatever. It's fine. It's all good. But at least I'm giving them something.
Yes.
For them to look at.
Yeah.
If I'm just getting an email, hey, I'm a new realtor, let's meet for a coffee, it depends how busy I am.
Yes.
But he sends me saying, something like,
I'm hosting an open house this Sunday.
You want to go for a coffee, talk about whether or not you're a good fit to come to this open house.
Yes.
Or I'm doing a seminar, or I'm doing something.
Yes.
I'm working on something, and I want to meet with you to see if we can work together so you can be there with me.
That makes a lot of sense.
I'm generating leads. I registered to this lead program.
Yes.
And I want to talk to you about it. Things like that. But, so many approach people, let's go for a coffee, without giving them any value. Everybody's busy.
Deliver value. That's the secret, man.
Yeah.
The sales. Like, think about what the other person on the transaction wants, and then try to deliver that.
Exactly.
Right? That's all it is.
Yeah.
I was just rereading How to Influence People and How to Make Friends and Influence People. Yeah. And that's the number 2 of his principles there. So
create value.
Number 3, arouse in the other person an eager want, right?
Right, yeah.
So tell them what you can do for them, how you can deliver value. So, no, that's great. I mean, I know a lot of new agents struggle with that, and just try to deliver value to whoever you're reaching out, if it's a broker or a lawyer, whatever. So, 2021, what do you see the mortgage industry being like in North America after the funky year that we've had, and that we're starting with? We're still not out of this.
To be honest, I think lenders reacted very well to it.
Okay.
I think they did a fantastic job handling and mitigating the risk. We really underestimate how powerful banks and these lenders have on the market. Okay, I make fun. I don't make fun. Sorry, on my show I called the underwriter one of the most powerful positions.
What should people search to go see your show on
the Rami Magic Show?
Rami Magic Show?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll also put a link down in the description.
Sure. So I talked about the underwriters. And underwriters, their job is to simply mitigate the risk.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I've been seeing is that, restaurant owners, small businesses, the first question they're going to ask is, how did they handle COVID-19?
Yeah.
How did they handle the pandemic? Okay. And luckily, small businesses that were majorly takeout handled it fairly well.
Of course, yeah.
It's the sit-in restaurants, and those are the ones that you're having trouble with. Even the mechanics, sometimes when they had to shut down for 3 months or whatever the case.
Nobody's driving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even if they're open, nobody's driving.
Okay.
Okay, so you know what I mean?
Yes. You're not putting on the kilometers that we use.
Yeah. So the industry that you're in now matters a lot more than it did before.
Whew, yeah.
Okay. I think that will continue in 2021.
You think so?
Yes.
It'll be the same?
Yeah. I think that will continue in 2021. I think it'll continue up until 2024. But I do think that rates will remain the same, if not, go a little bit lower. I think they'll start creeping back up in a couple of years, maybe,
Yeah.
Gosh, if everything I'm saying is right, we need to go back to this video here, eh?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll repost this in 2025 and we'll see if you're right.
Ultimately, and it depends, even if you're not self-employed and you're working for a dental office or, a dental clinic or a medical center, or whatever the case may be, and it's closed for whatever reason, if they do like a red, or whatever you call it, like a phase 1 lockdown, that plays a factor as well.
Of course.
Barbers,
Yeah, like physiotherapists, gyms, right? When this started in March, I thought that we would see another 2008, sort of like similar to the financial crisis of 2008.
Yeah.
Why hasn't that happened? We're just seeing prices increase and increase and increase. I'm still scratching my head. I still don't understand that.
Because, well, I don't know the answer.
Yeah, nobody does, but
But I think one of the main things is that employment rate in Ottawa is in our city is still pretty strong. Even in the bigger cities, it's still fairly strong because everything has moved virtual.
Yes.
Virtual meetings and all of that stuff. People kept their jobs.
Majority.
It's only the ones that either run a very small business or work for small businesses that have lost their jobs or are not showing the same. You see, what's happening is that the ones that are in lower paying jobs will likely not be able to afford a mortgage anyway.
Okay. And those are the jobs that were...
And those are the jobs that were impacted.
Yes, and there's also a lack of inventory because families aren't like making the big moves to other cities. There was maybe...
But, we're seeing a lot of shift in the outskirts, right? And
True.
And what's happening is that people are sitting here. So one of the biggest transactions, and the most transactions that we've seen this year more than years before, is the refinance.
Mm-hmm.
And the refinance, what that is that you're taking equity from your house, and you're paying off debt. So let's say you have a mortgage of $200,000, and your house is worth $500,000. Well, you can take up to 80% of $500,000.
Yeah.
So people will take some of that money, increase their mortgage to $300,000, let's say, and then take $100,000 to pay off debt, do renovations.
Yes.
So because they're at home, they're staring at that unfinished kitchen, and they're like, let's just get somebody in here to do it. Let's renovate and do something, right? But then some people realize that, you know what? I'm very comfortable not living in the city. I want to live in the outskirts.
Pay less.
If I'm going to live at home, if I'm going to work at home, I want to stare at a waterfront. I want to stare at trees.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to stare into my next door neighbor's playroom, you know? So I think that's why we're seeing a lot of shift from the city to the outskirts.
Yes.
And I'm not talking like outskirts, like Canada outskirts or Barhaven outskirts. I'm talking about like
an hour from the city
like
center.
Kempville,
Yes.
Castleman, Wendover.
Yeah.
You know, all these areas outside, Perth, you know.
I think these trends they're not only going to be happening in Ottawa, I think they'll be happening all over North America.
I mean, a lot of people think that the reason why this is happening is because people can't afford the city, but I really think the underlying reason is because
people are working from home.
Exactly.
And I had a good conversation with somebody who's doing just exactly that. For him, it's not he's moving his family, but he's moving his investments outside the city.
Yeah.
Selling in the city core, and he's going to invest about an hour outside the city. And you know, there's a few good points there. It's like, well, people are working from home. Bosses are realizing that the production level from those employees is sometimes greater than when they were in the office. They're not tired when they start their workday. They're at home. They're more productive, right? And they're also saving money because they don't have to have that rental space inside the city. And now a lot of people are saying, well, they're going to go back. Some people are going to go back to the office to go work in the office 9 to 5. I really don't think that's going to happen because the employers that offer the flexibility of location will have a competitive advantage on the workforce. You know, employees, some of them want to go to the office. The majority of them want that flexibility of working from home when they can. So I think you're bang on when you say that.
Yeah.
We're going to see the investments move outside of the city.
But I can easily work from home.
Yes.
I decide not to. Okay.
We're inside, you know, the office where I work.
Yeah.
And I still make my way here twice a week, but I don't need to.
No.
But I just do it because it's nice to go into the office.
It is nice to go into the office.
Yes.
But since we're talking about how to help new agents, don't work from home.
True.
Get out there.
Yeah.
You know, go to the office and learn.
Yeah.
And once this lockdown ends, hopefully soon,
yes,
you should never be at home. Do all your learning, all the stuff that you have to do on a computer, do it at night if you could.
Yeah.
But during the day, you have to be out there.
Did you ever work from home consistently?
No.
Never, right?
I can't.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You got to be careful with that because you're a very productive person. I've known you for a while, and you know when it's time to get stuff done, you get it done. But a lot of agents go to the office just to socialize, and that's also a problem, right? So there's like a happy middle there in the middle where when you go to the office, you sort of treat it as your work day. And if you have to make that work day 3 hours versus 8 hours for just being in the office for being in the office sake, then I prefer to see agents here for a shorter amount of time, getting their stuff done, and then, you know, going and enjoy their life.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary for people to spend a 40-hour a week in the office.
You know, some of the, if you're there socializing for 3 to 4 hours, I'm really hoping you're socializing about things that are benefiting you and your business, okay? Some of the most passionate people in the world, all they do is talk about their business.
Of course, yeah.
So when they're socializing, they're talking about their business.
That's true.
Okay? So now that you mentioned socializing, one of the things that has helped me build up more leads is that I literally talk about mortgages all day.
Yeah.
Okay. And then not until somebody mentions something else that I might be interested in. But I'm interested in everything, but I'm not passionate about everything, you know? And so, if somebody starts talking to me about, I don't know, politics or religion or whatever,
it's not your bag.
It's not, and I might entertain the conversation, but I'll try to figure out, if
we can talk about mortgages.
Right.
Yeah. Of course.
So you have to live and breathe the business.
Yes.
You really do. So if you're socializing, whether it's with a realtor or with anybody, I'm hoping you're socializing about your industry.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I know that you're excellent at your job. You saved my rear end in a transaction not too long ago. You got me an amazing rate, really good loan to value ratio. And
thank you.
When other lenders were saying we can't do this deal, so thank you.
Well, it's my pleasure.
I really appreciate it. And if there's anybody looking to get in contact with you for mortgages, where are you allowed to do mortgages? Is it only in Ontario or is it anywhere in Canada?
So being part of Mortgage Alliance, I do have access to other provinces by co-brokering different mortgage brokers in other provinces. I'm in the process of trying to get my license in different provinces though, so I don't have to go through that different channel.
Yes.
Mainly, most of my business is in Ontario. I do some in Quebec, and I have done some in Saskatchewan, Alberta.
No way.
And and actually I did one in Nova Scotia as well. So I've almost covered all provinces. I just have a couple left.
How do those come about?
Most of them are people moving from Ottawa to those areas.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Exactly. So people from Ottawa are moving there.
Good.
And that's how I would do that.
Good. And are you willing to take on more clients?
Of course.
Good. Is it okay if I put your information in the description of the video?
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely. Yeah,
what's the best place for them to reach you?
So Rami at RamiMortgages.com.
I like that.
Email. I normally like to, I reply to emails within 30 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
Texting is hard, but my number is 613-355-7269. That's my number. You could text me, but normally if you call, obviously I pick up my phone. Email is probably the fastest way to get a hold of me though.
The most efficient.
The most efficient way, yeah, because it's in front of me, it comes in, I see it, boom, I handle it.
Good.
So either me or my assistant will take care of that.
When did you buy that domain, RamiMortgages.ca?
I think 2014.
Ah, you were early. That's good. Yeah.
Rami Mortgages?
Well, I mean
it's not.
Rami's
It's not a household name, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Rami's. I know a few.
I'm thinking of buying Rami Magic.
Rami Magic?
Yeah.
I like it. I was trying to buy the domain because this channel is going to be changed names to Marty Academy.
Okay.
And
That's
I was
cute.
trying to.
That's nice.
And the reason why I switched it to Marty Academy is because I was looking for martyclements.com, and GoDaddy told me that somebody had already bought it. So I was speaking with my assistant, and I'm the one that bought it 2 years ago. I didn't remember. So, anyways, it was good on 2017.
Yeah,
Marty for doing that.
That's awesome. You know what? Martin Clément.
Yeah, it's hard to say in English.
Yeah, but it's also an easy name.
Easy, but the T gets stuck in my nose.
Yeah.
My French, Martin.
It's but it's a very easy name.
Yeah.
Rami is not.
What do you? It's super easy. It's
Rami is easy, but it's not known. So I can you can put Rami anything. You can put Rami anything, and you can find the domain. It's like if somebody wants to.
There's a gazillion Martys.
If somebody wants to come after me, they can just go buy Rami Academy, Rami Mortgage without S.
You better get on it because this video is being released tomorrow. Oh, good man. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, Marty. This was fun.
Yes, sir.
This was fun.
We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Ciao.